Hi, thanks for coming over. My name's Randy Williamson. I want to talk about how to build a campfire. Um, when people come camping, a lot of times they got kids with them, kids, grandkids, and all that. And the kids want to build or want to make s'mores. They want to eat s'mores, which is one of those things you do over a campfire. And then you go out there and you build a campfire, and all of a sudden, if you don't know how to do it, then the kids are sitting there waiting and they're disappointed and they're doing the s'mores in the microwave, which is no fun for them. So we want to talk about how to build a campfire. We want to talk about how to do it safely. We want to talk about the elements of a campfire, how to construct it, and what to do when you're done with it. So first off, for safety, according to the United States Forestry Service, 85% of wildfires are man-made. They're caused by humans. Now, only 5% of that is caused by campfires. But we're here at the happy place. We see all this beautiful greenery around here. We don't want it to go away, so we want to be very careful. So you want to make sure that you've got a fire ring or some stones, etc., something to contain the fire in before you start. You want to check with your campground to make sure that there aren't any restrictions. And also, you want to make sure that you have some water on hand. Now I've got this little half-gallon of water that would suffice, but at a campground you could also use a garden hose, etc. for it. Anyhow, another thing about safety is safety for the trees. If the campground has restrictions on the wood you bring in, like here in Pennsylvania, it's important that you don't bring in wood from anywhere else because of, well, the emerald ash borer is the big problem right now. It came over on it's native to Russia and Ukraine and areas over there, and it came over in a cargo container in 2002. And it's been devastating the ash tree population. As a matter of fact, if you walk around in this campground, you'll find different trees that they have marked that they have to cut down because they've been infected by the emerald ash borer. So when they tell you that you need to use local wood, use local wood. Now, for the elements of a campfire, we've got tinder, kindling, and your fire logs. Tinder is something that'll catch fire just real quick, like paper or those commercial fire starters that you get that are paraffin wax and wood chips. Or you could even take a cotton ball and put petroleum jelly on it and it'll light really quick. So that's tinder. Kindling is the smaller pieces of wood. Like right here, I've got sticks that I just picked up off the ground that are laying everywhere in a forest. I've got some wood here that I split up into small pieces. And then finally, the wood that's going to be the main fuel for your fire, for the long-lasting fire. Now, for most of you, and for me, when I was a Boy Scout, I was taught how to make a campfire using the teepee method. What a great use for spam, huh? For junk mail. So what we do is we put down some tinder, and then we take and we put kindling on top of it. And I'll use some of this as well. And we make a teepee. And then you go ahead and you light it, and you've got a fire. The problem with this method, though, is when you go to put the bigger logs on, you destroy the teepee and you lose the fire. So there's a better way called the log cabin, where you take your fire logs, you lay them on the sides, you take a couple more, and you lay them across on top, and then you take some smaller ones and you lay them across the top like so. And then you go ahead and light the fire by lighting the tinder. Now what this does is the tinder lights the kindling. which gets the fire going good and hot because it's small fuel. It'll burn quickly. And what that does is it ignites the larger fuel, which takes longer to come up. And then you have a fire that you don't really have to tend. Actually, all you have to do, since it's stacked in a log cabin style, all you have to do is just add on more wood in the same way. And it doesn't take long. Now, if I was going to have kids doing s'mores, I would probably move these out a little bit. And as the tinder comes up and as the kindling burns, then we're going to have flames coming through the top, and the kids can go ahead and roast their marshmallows. Now, the other important thing about fires is when you're done with them. If you leave a fire unattended and it's not cold, you run the risk of starting a forest fire. Matter of fact, in this campground, the rangers will ride around, and if they see smoke coming from a fire pit and nobody's sitting outside, or if they see a fire that's unattended, you'll get written up and fined or something else. Sorry about that, the smoke. But so when you're done with the fire, what you need to do is have a water source. Like I said, I've got my little half-gallon bucket of water here. Or even better, since you're at a campground, you can go ahead and take and attach a garden hose to the water hookup and have it laying around here so that it's ready to go. Now, if we take a look down here at the fire, we can see that the tinder is lit and it's starting to catch the kindling. Matter of fact, if you look from over here, you can see that the kindling is starting to burn. See, the wonderful thing about this too is you can get the kids into it. Because since you need to find kindling, to build the fire, you can send the kids out to the campsite or just to the edge of the woods, etc. And there's kindling laying all over the place, the little sticks, and they burn quick. So that was it. How to build a campfire. It's a different way from what you probably learned. It's a different way from what I learned in the Boy Scouts. It's using a log cabin style instead of the teepee style. And we talked about safety. We talked about the elements of a fire. We talked about construction of the fire. And we talked about what to do when the fire is out. Thank you so much.